Hey there, this is Taylor, and I'm here to show you the Jenkinsfile Ethereum Jenkins pipeline that I have built for testing and deploying Ethereum smart contracts in a Jenkins build pipeline. You can see here that I have got a fresh install of Jenkins pulled up on the left side here, and I will go ahead and show you how to install this and then run a Jenkins pipeline for deploying smart contracts to a testnet through Jenkins, running your tests, and then optionally deploying to a production Ethereum LiveNet. So we'll go ahead and click on Create New Jobs. And then one thing you will need is the pipeline and the Git packages for Jenkins. And we'll go ahead and name this Ethereum Deploy and click OK. And we'll just fill this out pretty quick for brevity. So we'll do some lorem ipsum, and then I won't do any of these build triggers right here because we want to build this manually just to show you how it works. But any of these are optional when you're doing this yourself. And then we will be pulling this from source management. So we'll go ahead and do the pipeline from SCM, and we're going to use Git because that's the package we have installed. And we'll pull the Git the repo from this Jenkinsfile Ethereum repo here in my GitHub and paste that in there. And then all of this is also just good to go. You can see that the script path is Jenkinsfile, and that matches here too. So we'll go ahead and click Save. The only other thing that you need to do is go back up to the main page of Jenkins, and we're going to add some environment variables just so that you can pull in from your own GitHub repo where your smart contract is. So we'll go to Manage Jenkins, and then we'll go to Configure System. And we'll scroll down here. You can see where I have selected global variables and the environment variables tab here, option here. And you'll want to put the name as Git repo. And then this value is pulled from the example smart contract. Oops, not that, but this example smart contract that I have up here on GitHub as well. So Jenkins Ethereum example repo. Now we go down and click Save. And go back to our pipeline. Now, the repo itself, or the pipeline itself, is good to go. I'm going to talk about it because there's a lot going on under the hood, but I'll do that while it's building because that could take a little while, and we can kind of discuss it as it goes along. So when it comes to building and deploying for yourself, you will want to put a folder together that is constructed like this. You have your smart contract, your Ethereum smart contract here. This is a really simple smart contract that displays a message. You set a message, and it'll pull that message whenever you want it to, and you can reset that message. So it's super simple smart contract. This is also a test folder where we're going to put our Ethereum tests. Now, this is going to make sure that the contract is working in our live environment like we expect it to. And it also uses some Jenk-ETH, which is the Jenkins Ethereum or Jenk-Thereum package, NPM package that I've built to make testing super easy. Now, I'm not going to go into detail there, but you can find that on my GitHub as well with some very detailed explanations on how to use it. So we're going to run this test file in this folder, which is on GitHub, and it's got a few specific things on it. So the first thing I want to show you is this config.json file. This is information that's required to deploy to the Ethereum network. Now, this stuff you can pull, you can put together this yourself, and there's detailed instructions on how to put that together yourself in the README for the Jenkinsfile Ethereum right here. Now, don't get any smart ideas because this mnemonic, which is super secret, is totally compromised. So if you put any money there, somebody will steal it. But it is for my testing and deployment purposes. So anyway, there's the config file that's needed, and then your package.json also has to include the Jenk-Thereum package, which is listed right there. And all of this is described in the README file. So with this configuration of a file, you can go ahead and pull that into the Jenk-Thereum or the Jenkinsfile Ethereum pipeline, and it's going to go through all the steps that we've talked about. Now, to go into more detail, we have cloning, which is going to grab the smart contracts. Which is going to grab the repo that you have listed on that you're building from. So in this case here, we're going to prep the environment, which includes installing a bunch of the packages that we need for deploying. Now we have deployment, which is going to install a copy of the Ethereum, the smart contract that you're working on both your local test RPC, or called Ganache sometimes, and also on the Ethereum testnet of your choice. Mine is Ropsten for this particular example. And then once it's up on those two networks, it's going to run tests that you have described in your test folder. So again, as all these things are working and operating properly, you are getting live feedback on all of that. Now, in this case, the tests run, they work, and so we have the option to approve prod deploy. Now, approve prod deploy says that we are ready to put this on the live Ethereum network. We click here and we have the option to not do that or to proceed. We'll go ahead and proceed. What that does is throws or deploys this up onto the live Ethereum blockchain. Now that costs live money or real money, so I have this example configured so that it is just going to go back up on the Ropsten testnet, and that is just because I'm broke and I don't want to pay for real Ethereum interaction. But it is easy to reconfigure, or it will be reconfigured on my GitHub so that this does actually send it to the live Ethereum network. And once this is done, in fact, we can probably just show you here now. Yep, so now it's completed. So just to prove to you that this all happened, we're going to go to Etherscan in the Ropsten test network, and we'll refresh, and we should see here a bunch of new deployments. Yep. So we have a contract deployed 2 minutes ago, which is indicated by this. We have a call to that contract that happened also 2 minutes ago, which is from our testing. And then we have this new contract created. Now this represents this final deploy to prod step. But because I have it redirecting to the Ropsten test network, we had a redeploy of the same contract here. But in reality, this would go out to the Ethereum main blockchain. That is how the pipeline works for Ethereum smart contracts. That is on my GitHub. And I hope you enjoyed this. I think this is a really handy tool for testing smart contracts, and hope you can use it too. Thank you so much.